Hi there, in this session I would like to tell you about JavaScript data types. These are very most important in JavaScript. And whatever we are seeing here in these JavaScript data types are having in this standard JavaScript only. So the meaning of data type is different types of variable values. What does mean by this? Variable values. Variable can save some values. That values is called as a data types. Means we can assign some name to this variable. For example, if it is a ABC, then it would be a name. We are assigning some text here in this variable. So this is called as a string, and we are assigning value as 25 for this variable. So it will store data as number, and we are assigning some boolean values. Boolean values also one of the important thing here in these data types. It will assign some conditional statements. Means we can play this true or false boolean values as a true or false values in the sense conditional values. Condition in the sense it is a if else statement. And also here in this true or false boolean values, we can also make some conditions with the help of these boolean values. Means we are assigning this variable will store these boolean values. This variable will store these multiple kind of values is called as a array. This variable will store some object properties. For example, first name and last name. It is called as an object, as well as while we are writing and while we are doing any kind of project, there sometimes we need to assign some null variable, because here in this variable doesn't have any kind of variable. It is playing some null value. Moreover, here you can see there is undefined data value be there. Means variable couldn't define any property. It is undefined. Variable doesn't have any property, either number, name, object, boolean or string, whatever it may be. It is having only null. Then it is a null data type. So these are the data types having here in this standard JavaScript only. Okay, these are very most important. It is these data types are playing very more important role here in this JavaScript as well as JavaScript framework. Let's have a look how we can execute these data types here in this code editor. I will go with the VS code editor, so that I will take a new document and it is called as a JavaScript data types. I will .html. I will go with the internal JavaScript only. Hit enter. To define this one, what we need to do is I will go with the standard HTML template. Here you can see, and I don't want to entertain any kind of external JavaScript. I will use internal JavaScript only. To assign that one, I will go with a script. This is HTML5, one of the tag. So in between this script tag only, we have to execute some JavaScript functionality. So I will take one variable. So that name I will define as a name for that variables. So name should be use some double quotes. There I will assign some text like this. This is JavaScript like that. So this is called as a string. We can say this is a string. So we assigned some text to this name. Means this name variable stored this text. So this is called as a string. I want to print it out in my document. In the sense, I want to print it out in my browser. How we can do that one? So now we can see, for that we have to use document object property, one of the property. So document dot write. I will go with the write. Here we can see we have to define that variable name, because that variable name has stored some information. We defined that one. This is JavaScript. So what we need to do is we have to use that variable name only. So it will render that name here in this document. So we can see, I will save this one. What I would like to do is I want to see the preview, how it seems to be. So here you can see open in live server. So we can see that output, this is JavaScript. Means we assigned these variable value here in this document dot write only. So this is one kind of data type. This is the method to execute our data types by using data dot document dot write method. So if I use document dot write, if I use this variable here in this document dot write as with some double quotates, here you can see the preview how it seems to be. So it will consider, JavaScript will consider that name is a string. So save this one. Here you can see it will show you some name like this. JavaScript rendering, because we used some double quotates here in this document dot write now, so that it would consider as a string only, means it is a name. So name also print like this. So we doesn't it doesn't require any kind of double quotates to execute our variable name. So I will take name as like this. So here you can see this is a variable name. So what I want to do is I will comment out this one also, comment out by hitting double backslash. So here we can see that is a string. I want to use variable number. So number number equal to, here in this number, if you want to assign any kind of values to this variable, so it doesn't require any kind of double quotates. So we can assign some kind of number over here. So we need to use that number here in this document dot write method only. So what I will do is I will assign number. So save this one. Here you can see the preview. It seems to be like this. You can reuse this variable wherever you required. You can re-render this variable wherever you required. So this is called as a string. Sorry. This is called as a number. So I will comment out this number also, as well as here you can see I will comment out this number also. And next we can see there is an array. So I want to save this string as well as I want to save this number in one value, one variable. So I want to assign these two things in one variable. For that we have to use string. Sorry, we have to use array. So what we need to do is where array equal to, how we can define. So array always maintains square brackets. Here only we have to define some value as this is JavaScript comma, there we need to mention for second value. For this array will save these two values. I will give some number also, and semicolon. Here we can see we defined two values for this array, and we are rendering that array by using document.write as array. Save this one. Here you can see the value. It seems to be like this, means array will saves the value, will saves the two or more value at a time, so that we can use this array data type. We can assign some array data type for this variable. So what I will do is this is an array. After watching this video, you can download the source code also. I will provide this source code to you, so that this is called as a array. So what I will do is I would like to comment out this one. I will show you I will show you how to assign object. Here you can see. So here you can see this is the variable, and I will define that name as a object name. Okay, equal to open close curly braces. So name colon single quotates. This is user comma. Then after that the description single quotates. This is object description, description like this. And this kind of values we can define here in this object. What I will do is I will render this variable, and have a look. It seems to be like this, object object. Save this one. Now you can see, you couldn't see the properties. Here you can see the object because these kind of data will available and will render there in that console only. So that what I would like to do is I will comment out this one, save this one. You can't say about this object, and after that what I will do is I will use console dot log. Here you can see we have to define that object variable. So I will define as an object. So see here, save this one. We have to see this console, and right click inspect. There you can see the console mode is there. There you can see object values are there. description is there, name is there, and some other prototype related objects also be there. So what happening is we are saving some object properties to this variable, so we can reuse re-render these things a number of times. To execute this one, we have to use console.log, and for remaining data types we have to use this document.write to get output there in our browser. So there is some more data types also be there. You can see null data type is there, undefined data types is also be there. Some circumstances we have to use that data types for our project. These are the data types very useful, can able to use in that Angular, Vue, React.js, API, databases. There also we have to use these data types. These are the most important data types are having here in this standard JavaScript.